In this video, we'll take a look at PC-BSD's ports jail system and the advantages that it has in creating and maintaining secure environments. FreeBSD Ports is a source-based package management system. It uses a collection of makefiles that allow the system to build software with very little user interaction. Ports knows exactly which resources are required dependencies to build any given program, and after the initial command, Ports will automatically fetch the prerequisite files, install them, and then build the requested software package. The FreeBSD Jails system is a robust virtualization service that is capable of creating pseudo-operating systems that may outwardly behave as a completely separate installation. By operating as a pass-through to the kernel, FreeBSD Jails sandbox each jail such that no jail may access another, or any part of the host operating system running the jails unless specifically allowed. Jails see a lot of use under FreeBSD in server environments as a way to manage resources for multiple users and to protect the underlying operating system from vulnerabilities in whatever software may be running in the jails. While it retains the traditional jails, PC-BSD added port jails, a very powerful tool with which to manage the installation of FreeBSD ports in a jail environment. Given the nature of the sandboxed environment, any ports installed in the jail are contained by it, and anything that goes wrong or causes problems will be restricted to the jail environment. This provides ample opportunity to experiment with ports or to set up creative implementations that would conflict with the nature of the host system. To start, we'll need to open the PC-BSD control panel and open Ports Jail. If you haven't initialized the service yet, you're going to get an error message like this one. This is normal as the Ports Jail is not initialized by default. The Ports Jail has a 300 megabyte footprint, so you'll need a bit of free space to set it up and then later to install ports and packages on top. So now we'll open a terminal window in order to initialize the Ports Jail. First, become the super user, then type portjail init. Now there's an option to either download a precompiled base jail or to build one from source. Downloading is usually the fastest way to get up and running and should only take a few moments with a fast connection. Building can take hours on even a fast machine and requires the installation of system source. This video is only going to cover installation from the precompiled download. When the command is finished, enter portjail start and finish the jail initialization. Now we can return to the PC-BSD control panel and open Ports Jail again. This will bring up the Port Jail console, which is also accessible from any external window with the command portjail console. Once in the Port Jail, we find that our environment is very close to normal BSD installation, and outwardly appears to have most of the same amenities. A quick ls shows a very familiar root directory, though in reality the jail is running a pseudo-virtual machine and the kernel belongs to the host operating system. If I try an ls user ports, we'll see that the directory is empty. This is because I haven't fetched the ports tree yet. Under PC-BSD, this process is relatively easy. If I open the System Manager and change to the Tasks tab, I have a GUI button for fetching the ports tree for the jail specifically. Once I click the button, the ports tree is automatically downloaded to my jail. The ports tree will include all the information I need to build ports and is contained now by the jail. The most common command you'll find yourself using to install ports is make install. Before we can do that though, we'll have to figure out which port we want to install. Again, the port jail functions very much like a normal shell, so if we ls user ports, we can get a good idea of what categories of applications that ports contains. The full width and breadth of the FreeBSD port system is well worth exploring and learning about, but for this demonstration I'm going to install a simple game just to give an example of the functionality. Remember that anything you see in the ports collection can be installed in the portjail console just as it can be installed in the base system. I cd to the directory of the port that I want to install, extras, and type make install extras, and ports goes to work installing an X11 based Tetris clone. When it's finished, I'll open a terminal window in the base system and enter portjail run extras. My application pops up and behaves normally, and unless you knew, there's virtually no way to tell that it's running in a portjail. Now let's switch back to the portjail console and take a look at packages. Something more complicated like a peer-to-peer file sharing application or image manipulation program would take a long time to build from ports, but if we just add the package, we get both the benefit of the application installing in the portjail and a significantly decreased install time. This is because packages are an official precompiled source available from a network of servers recognized by the FreeBSD project as being part of the FreeBSD package repository. By entering the command package add-r gimp, a remote fetch is initiated, and the popular image manipulation program is downloaded and installed. It will take some time to install, but not nearly as long as it would have taken to build from ports. Once finished, GIMP can be started with the same portjail run command plus the name of the program. GIMP opens running in the jail, but behaving completely normally from a user perspective. If my program were something more complex or with networking capabilities, like an Apache server, it becomes easy to see how the secure and sandbox nature of a jail keeps system resources separate from those that are exposed in the jail. Now that we've taken a look at our options for installing binaries and their dependencies in our jail, let's take a look at removing them. First, let's remove GIMP. Package delete functions a little differently than package add, as it wants the specific name and number of the installation, not just the metaname. You can accomplish this either by entering the exact name or using / as a wildcard. Now if we try to run the program, it's gone. Even though the installation procedure for our extras port was very different, we can use the same command to delete it too. Package delete extras removes the application and all files that were installed with it. Again, remember to use the wildcard. With this, I've now covered all the basic procedures for setting up and managing port jails. You can find further documentation on wiki.pcbsd.org under ports jail. Thanks for watching.